Welcome to Backer Pause, where creators bravely put up their projects to be judged by others to see if their title, their description, their image, and their video can get through the experience of Backer Pause. What is Backer Pause? Backer Pause is when you suddenly find a reason that you might not pause or you've lost interest in a project. So join us as these campaigns are put through the ringer of the Backer Pause jury and judges. Tune in and tell us if you experience Backer Pause in the comments. Brought to you by comicbookadvocates.com, where the love of comics comes first, and hosted by Mr. Anderson, the comics writer who creates stories that travel the realms of fetish monsters and more, and the more is ever expanding. Both Trish and Chuck are here, so I have to maybe play this. Warning and disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed on this live feed are those of the guests, speakers, and or hosts, and do not necessarily reflect the beliefs, official policies, ethics, or positions of the content providers, advertisers, additional hosts, and or guests, hosting sites, groups, or entities attached to this programming. Viewer discretion is advised. All right, today we're going to talk about Brink and Fetch, Cat Dad and Supermom, and a few other things. We have the returning judge, Trish, and we have Chuck, who is credited as the co-creator of Backer Pause itself. Neither one really understand or have seen the full format that we're now using, so this is going to be great to see them play with it. But the first thing I want to ask right now is Trish to explain her, who she is, you know, the usual intro stuff, and then talk to us about your project.
I should be able to explain who Trish is, and Trish should have to explain who I am.
I mean for it. Now that's going to happen. Now, Trish, you have to explain Chuck.
Oh, sure. Okay. Chuck is editor of everybody's stuff. That's really good, in my opinion. And you already put that disclaimer. Chuck is the writer of many, many titles. Welcome to the Void 2, hopefully soon. Belial 3, which will be out really, really soon before that one. Let's see. He's the dad to some amazing kids, the husband to Wendy, who's got a book coming out too. He's a lover of animals. He likes his alcohol at night. What else do you want to know? You want to know?
I think that's good. That's good.
Lover of alcohol needs to be like a bumper sticker now.
Right?
Well, anytime Chuck celebrates, he usually is like, let's have a drink. Let's have a drink. You know, Chuck likes to celebrate a lot.
The problem's not the fact that he's celebrating big moments for a drink. It's that he's making small moments big reasons to have a drink.
Right, I woke up. Time for a drink. Let's celebrate.
Chuck, who is Trish?
Trish, you know what? It's funny. We often have writers and artists and all this kind of stuff. Trish is not that yet. Trish is something different. Trish is a producer. And all of the work that she did behind the scenes of Brink and Fetch helped to make it what it was. And a lot of times we don't give the producer a lot of credit. And a lot of times they don't deserve it. But this is one of those rare times where Trish has worked so hard. She has, created buttons. She has sourced out printers and artists and just done so much work. And so the fact of the matter is, despite not writing or doing any art for Brink and Fetch, that book would not be as amazing as it was without her touch. This, my friends, is Trish Bankston.
Oh, that's so sweet. But a lot of people don't give credit to their editor. You directed us in the right way because we were like, hey, this is our first time. Direct us. Tell us what we need to do. And you were like, hey, reach above your tier. Because I'm thinking, okay, I can afford, maybe I can get this person. And you're like, no, have confidence in yourself. People know who you are. Reach.
Yeah, but you did it. And you kept pushing. How many shows have you been on? Like, dude, you've gone way above and beyond what was ever asked of you. So no.
Now, Chuck and Trish are both part of this project, which is a project we love. And the reason I'm not on camera today is because every time I'm on camera and Trish says something, people think I said it. and I get hate mail. So I'm going to let it all go to Trish today. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah,
We have two
bring it.
guests. No, we have two guests, so it's just easier in the block to have you two here and you're featured. So I'll just be doing the voiceovers today. We're going to watch the video. I wanted to ask, how did the partnership come together for both of you working together?
Actually, it was Mike. Mike was the one. That was the one decision. Mike's like, I'll leave all the covers to you. I'll leave the artist. I'll leave all the, anything like that. But he's like, the only one thing I want is I want Chuck as my editor, because Chuck promoted himself so well during his Belial 2 campaign. Mike's like, this book, it just screams Chuck needs to be part of it. And I'm like, if that's what you want. So that's how Chuck had to be part of this project.
I was so happy to be a part of it. And it was fun because they let me in on every level. I mean, we have chats for lettering, for coloring, for pencils, for everything. I think there was also one for printing. I don't know. There were so many different chats, and I was in on all of them. So when they thanked them, I got thanked many, many times. But and actually, this picture that you see here, this was one of my few artistic times where I stepped up and I was like, hey, I have this really cool idea. The name of the book was Brink and Fetch Just Want to Have Fun. And I was like, girls just want to have fun. Let's do an homage cover to that. And Mike jumped on that right away. And that's where we got this one.
And who's the artist of that one while we're showing it?
That one's Sergio Rios. He did our interior artist. He's our interior artist. And that's colored by Shauna, who is our interior colorist too.
And Shauna Med is, a relation to a very great artist, a friend of mine, actually, Chris Med.
Yep.
And here's his cover.
Yes. I love that one. I already want to get it bejeweled, especially by the pockets and they have that technique where they put the jewels on there. That cover just screams it needs the little jewels on the butt.
Well, and what's cool about that cover is that that's not the cover he did. He actually did another cover. He did pencils and stuff for it, and he got a good chunk of the way through it. And he was like, "No, I'm not happy with this." And Mike and Trish had already signed off, and they're like, "No, it's good." He's like, "No, it's not. This is not my best foot forward." And so he went back and he did it over again. He brought us this, and it's gorgeous.
Yeah, this is amazing.
That's a true professional for you. When they know that they're not nailing it and they got to start over, you got to respect that.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, he's an awesome dude.
The same with Steph and the cover, because we actually had the idea of the girls playing on the was that White Snake video, where they're playing on the car and washing it and having fun. And he's like, no, Mike, you always tell a story that you start down this rabbit hole of watching Tom, and that's where you started this rabbit hole. And so let's do an homage. And so Steph came up with the idea with that cover too. So I mean, the artists, really, people, if you are listening to me, listen to your artists, because they've been in this business a lot longer than probably you have. So they kind of know what covers. And I love that David Fought one with my cooties. That's just so fun.
All right, guys, we're going to watch the video. No interruption, of course, because the video for anyone who's here does not get pause. So let's bring it up one last time, actually, because you guys are ending
5 days.
Valentine's Day, the big V Day is the last day. So this is our last time on the back of pause without interruption.
Oh my god, it's finally here.
I think you mean oh my goddess.
Our adventures are finally going to be told.
And blasted all over social media.
I mean, it was only a matter of time before someone caught us.
Do you think the world is really ready to see our night of passion?
Well, I promise a good amount of violence.
And lots of lust. The women were delectable that night.
Sorry, boys. Brink doesn't swing that way, but I'm ready to play.
It's sad, but I support your decision. Well, as long as it's not that guy.
Yeah, that guy is scary.
What's scary is how long I've been waiting for this.
You never had a problem waiting when you were in my hands.
Fetch! Stop teasing me!
I thought you liked when I teased you.
You'll be seeing more of us in Brink and Fetch. Just want to have fun. We'll be waiting.
I love
Very
that
cute video. I'm going to miss it. I'm actually like having watched it. Like I can say this: I get bored of videos
Mhm.
and I get distracted, and I'll go do the laundry while I've watched for the 100th time it's on back or pause. I go do the dishes, and I come back because it's boring to me now. That one never got boring. It actually kept up the whole time.
Yeah, it did, and you know what I really liked is there's a point at the very end. I think the last couple sentences where one kind of interrupts the other, and it's the perfect interruption, and it just like it felt like a real conversation the whole time, and it was
Mhm.
those interruptions and those kinds of things that really made it feel real. The timing, the pacing, everything. So yeah, man, the girls did a really good job. That was your daughter, right?
Right. Yeah. Our 22-year-old daughter. Because
Yeah,
people are
yeah,
like, how old's your kid that made this video? I'm like 22. And her bestie, that
and
was
her
her
best friend.
bestie since they were like 8 years old.
Yeah.
Give me 1 second, guys.
Sure.
Talk amongst yourselves.
So how's Belial 3 coming along?
Really good. We have the first 4 pages penciled out, and I think right now Sean is working on. He's finishing up another project, but then he's going to start inking, and so any day now I should get page 5 from Greg Warrenchak, and then I'll see 6 and so on, and I'm ready to pay the next chunk and get some more pages and stuff. So yeah, man, it's looking really good. What was cool about this one is that since issue 2, and this is kind of sad news, but it becomes something fun and interesting. Um, Sean's grandfather passed away, and my stepdad passed away. So we decided that we wanted to put our these gentlemen that we respected so much. We were going to put them in hell, and we were going to have some fun with them. And so they're 2 characters who are going to kind of up the hilarity, so to speak. Since if you guys read Belial 1 and 2, this is a slight spoiler alert, but Link gets separated from the rest of the group. I won't tell you how. Go check it out. But that means that we've kind of taken the real core of funny and moved it away. So we added these 2 characters in, and so now we're going to finally be able to see them penciled out and looking good. And I'm really excited to kind of see these characters come to life. And I showed my mom some of the rough pencils of her husband, and she was super excited. So I think it's going to be a really good book, and yeah, really stoked.
So did
Well,
Link get lost into a spin-off series that's just about him?
No, but I have to say more and more it's really looking like that might happen.
well, I
I'm-
have
I'm-
props, Chuck. You said the one spot for my aunt, and we had her drawn in, and then sadly she passed away last year, and so she's in this book too as an homage. But we did it, she was supportive of me making buttons and stickers, and we wanted to show her some love, and we put her in the book, and now she'll be like forever on shelves somewhere, or in
Yeah.
somebody's box. So
Yeah, you didn't know you were doing it at the time, but how
Right.
nice is it that you had that opportunity?
Oh yeah. A lot of families reached out. Hey, if you have extra copies, can you send me one? I'm like, can you just back my Kickstarter?
Right?
But-
You got to tell them in comics, there's no such thing as extra copies. We're selling every single one of them.
There you go. Now Chuck owes me a crossover. He knows that we have a crossover story to do that I've been waiting literally years to make.
Mm-hmm.
It is years in the making, so the spinoff is exactly what I want. Sorry about having to step away for a second. This is only when you're live. I had to stop and search for a death certificate, and I'm not kidding. That is literally what I had to do at that moment. Yep.
Wow.
That only me and only when I'm live, never when I'm off the air. So, and this is going to be the hardest segue in this show's history. We're going to talk about Cat Dad and Supermom now. Chuck is,
You know what? It's not a hard segue though, because anytime you're live, and live being on the air like we are now, or live on Kickstarter, you have those opportunities for weirdness and crazy things to happen. I mean, we've all had those nuts things happen while we were live on Kickstarter, where it's like, I got to keep pushing a book, but I'm in a hospital bed, or whatever's going on, and keep making it happen, and that's what we're doing with Cat Dad and Supermom.
It's always like Chuck is so right. We
No,
had a
but it
lot.
also shows we have adversity and that we're going through, and your book definitely shows adversity and hardship and trying to be triumphant over it. So it was an easy segue.
Let me tell you right now, the busiest, the hardest bully that I've ever met is the Kickstarter goal, and Facebook, trying to promote on Facebook without getting another 24-hour ban.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah. And it's amazing to me that most of the problems I have with the current Facebook profile most people know me as is literally because I've advocated for people that someone didn't like, so they've reported the profile. So the profile itself now has so many dings to it. Like if you look at my history, it looks like I've been selling drugs, and this is like a warrant sheet for me. And it's all like all the stuff I've promoted over the years. And Trish knows this, and I'm not going to say the campaign because I don't want to disparage it. Recently, I stepped up. I actually had someone on the platforms that I'm all on. I was promoting them, and I got in trouble in 2 different platforms for promoting them.
Which I feel bad because I pointed that campaign out.
I don't feel bad. It's a good campaign. It deserves the love. I feel bad that people are just closed-minded bigots. And that's what it comes down to. Because there's no one gets in trouble for misreporting. And that is the saddest thing we have in our culture right now, that they're not punishing the people who are, they're burning books right now. Not to be political, but it's a dangerous time. The last time they burned books, we got the Comics Code. And anyone who knows what that is knows exactly how dangerous that is. So, yeah, I believe in freedoms of storytelling, and I can create a book like Cat Dad and Supermom and do a fetish book. And they both can be fantastic along with the other things I do. And Chuck's actually had the opportunity to edit a lot of the different realms I've worked in. So he knows that, like, I bring the story. Like, that's the one thing that's always important to me. So what about Cat Dad? Because I know you've always said that this is a special project to you. What about Cat Dad makes it special to you?
I mean, well, it's special to me because of the connection to Jax. And it's special to me because of the connection just to kids. And it's not just making a book for kids. And a lot of times I find when people make books for kids, they kind of speak down to them. This is a book that adults can enjoy as well, and that kids can kind of read up to. And really sort of it's tackling things in a different way. Instead of saying, don't do this, don't do that, it's showing the morals behind it and why, we should think about what we do and why we should try to act and be in certain ways.
And one of the most important things, obviously, is it's about my son. So this is, me and Trish were talking about this. Like, I could have anyone say anything to me, and most of the times it'll roll right off my back. You say one negative thing about this book, and it really is a different level for me. Like, forget the horns. I'm just bringing the fire, because I know that not only is this a good book, but there are no real, like, you could say you don't like it. I'm not talking about that. Everyone has the right to not like something.
Yeah.
But like when you're trying to use this, and I've seen people try to bend it and say, I can't do this or that, I'm not even going to give it the light of day, or just have like a blank thing on it. And it's ugly because they are attacking something that's meant to encourage everyone. Because Chuck knows this, and we talked about it recently. This was meant to be, the origin of this was the first story that this ever came out, and was never supposed to go on. Like, the Cat Dad series wasn't going to be the main thing. We were going to do a coloring book, and it was going to follow Jax, and Chuck was going to bring in a story, and we had all these people lined up, and we had an artist who just could not make the commitments, and it kind of fell to the wayside. And that happens in comics. No harm, no foul. But Raheel, who's the artist behind this, stepped up, wanted to work with me, came to me, because I have that ability where artists come to me, and he says, I'd really like to work with you on at least a short story. And I was like, all right, yeah, let's do it. He had amazing artist. And I was like, he's like, so I gave him my entire library. And he was like, well, did you ever think about continuing the Cat Dad story? And I was like, yeah, I have actually considered continuing it in a different format. I would want to go more into his dreams, because in the first book, we really don't go heavy into his dreams. And we talked about it a little bit. He's like, I'd really like to draw that. We brought Chuck back on because he was part of the original book. And I told Chuck, I was like, you got to be part of this. We're going to go just with the Cat Dad angle. Because originally it was always going to follow just Jax. So this is a new series that was born out of an old one.
Yeah.
Like TV sometimes have a spinoff, Cheers, Frasier, Happy Days, and whatever that one that no one ever really watched was with, was it Chachi or something like that?
Chachi.
Joni and Chachi.
Yeah.
Joni loves Chachi.
Yeah.
Well, and another reason, because you did ask why this book's so important to me, is that despite not being the first book I worked on, Jax D. Anderson, the very original book that came out, that was the first book I ever held with my name on it as a credit. So because that was the first one it was printed before the other book that I edited first. Yeah.
Yeah, it was done fast. The other one, because you make three. We were making 3 books at the same time. I was making Barbara Unleashed, Monsters, and Jax the Anderson, and it just so happened Jax came out first. Even though we kickstarted Barbara first, we had some trouble with printing, and we'd actually done it through Amazon. I'm probably the only person who can say I fulfilled an entire Kickstarter campaign using Amazon. Point one other person out who's ever done that. I have not. Have you used Amazon to do the entire campaign?
Yeah, we did it with Essence House.
Well, that doesn't count. That's a novel. I'm talking.
Hey! You didn't throw any other things on there.
Well done, sir. Well done.
Thank you.
You got me on that. I don't know if it's in the right spirit of the conversation, but I can say now I've only known 2 people.
There you go. And only one comic creator.
And only one comic, one novel using Amazon. Actually, I wonder if Amazon's used more frequently for novels, like in all seriousness aside, because it's cheaper. Printing a comic on Amazon is not cheaper, for the record. No. And don't tell Amazon this. I had, at the time while I was married, my ex had a charge card where you got points as you did things. So I was using the Amazon points. So I basically never paid for the shipping.
Oh, that's awesome.
Because of that. And I'm an Amazon Prime person. So that kind of helped bring the things down lower already. So like I was changing my address. If you ever go to my Amazon account, there's like 75 addresses. They must be like, he's in the military.
Right.
Or he's got a lot of friends. They don't know. So, we have the old original issue, which teaches morals with farts. We have 2 videos now. I think Chuck has seen both, right?
I know I saw the first one. I don't know if I saw the second one yet.
We're going to start right now with the first one, the one that Trish hates. And we'll go on to our program after that. Here we go. In the beginning, there were farts that hopefully taught some moral lessons about bullying. And now Team Cat Dad is back. And this time, we're trying to figure out what makes a hero. A story that examines popularity versus heroics while teaching children how real people can inspire heroic tales. The entire creative team is back for this powerful second tale of heroics, and we do have the usual rewards and such. Truly amazing covers, including a limited edition coloring book cover for the first time. But if you're a fan of Cat Dad and Supermom, you know it's about more than rewards. It's about the creator's autistic son Jax and his love for him and the stories he hopes inspires and guides him and hopefully the readers of these tales. It is about the human moments and the ability to entertain and bring the entire family together that matters to us. And a reminder of the power of imagination. I want to thank you for watching this video and hope you take a moment to look over the campaign for Cat Dad and Supermom, What Makes a Hero. And remember, we rise together through kindness. Please go to catdadandsupermom.com for more information about this campaign. And I think I told Chuck this. Jax picked the song out.
And it is such a cute video.
Yeah.
I don't have transitions. It's just with Trish. If you don't have transitions, she's not impressed.
Right.
You gotta have it hits all the other markers, though. I think you like the second video. I think you saw the second video last week if you were on, didn't you?
Yeah. Yeah,
The new
I
one,
did.
yeah.
I did. And I like them both. I mean, it is a project to love. It is
Not according to Kickstarter. Not this time.
well,
Everyone else, I'm telling you, someone's got to have an email somewhere, and they're just sending it to people because some projects are getting projects they love before they even launch.
Yeah.
Like, how does that happen? I need to know how that's happening.
I can talk to you off the air. I've seen it.
I kind of figured it out recently that there's something going on there, and there's a.
I gotta be honest at this point. Belial has never been a project we love, and I would really be happy if it got all the way through, all 4 plus the trade, and never got project we love and still killed. I wouldn't. I would be very happy with that.
But Trish definitely made it work with the project we love. So
yeah, I don't know what we did. I'm like, okay, we have a funny supernatural titty book, and I'm like, how did we get projects we love? We're first. Well, okay, Mike says it's not a titty book, but we've seen the covers.
Well, a book with titties.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know what we did. You know what I mean? I mean, we only had 60 people signed up on the pre-launch page, and I'm like, I have no idea what we did to, you know what I mean, to get projects we love.
well, you got it, and I think you deserved it. You know, and I'm just saying, like, before you launch, having that seems a little weird to me. Like when you're launching and you have it, that's weird. But I do know there's an algorithm with sudden jumps that does help you get projects you love. So if you launch and get like 50 to 60 people backing you right away, they'll just give you a projects we love, which makes sense. I mean, they're going to love making money off your project, right? Like, yeah, look at these people. They're paying us. We got union dues to pay. Come on, guys. Back to projects. All right. So we're going to get into the show. So here's the new format. So I was sitting around, and me and Chuck even talked about this at the end of last year, and I wanted to talk more deeply about everything, and I really wanted to do it. And then I realized there wasn't like an era of like risk being on the show, because we were trying to get every project done. It was just you get to be on the show no matter what. I was like, what if we made him earn it? What if your title was something that made you earn getting to the next round and being shown? What if it was your pitch that got you? And then at the very end, what if it was all together? Because images are easy. Anyone can put up like Chuck and Trish said, boobs will sell. I could get a project we love too if I could just throw some boobs on any book, because that seems like it's there. Like right now, there's a lot of projects getting it just because of the money they're making. It's not always easy to do that. So I wanted to stress and really stress to a lot of creators who don't have that option, choose not to do that option because they don't want to do that. And again, there are certain books it makes total sense. Brink and Fitch, it makes sense because who the characters are. So that is not a dig towards any campaign. And some people, there is a market. There's nothing wrong with selling sex. There wouldn't be an OnlyFans if there weren't a market for sex. So I'm not putting shade on anyone. I'm just saying for certain creators, that's just not an option, especially not for something like Cat Dad and Supermom. I wouldn't even make a joke about it because I take this property so seriously. The closest thing to a joke I recently made was on Facebook, where I said, someone said that if I use bobs, I can get it, and I show a bunch of wigs that are bob wigs. I'll have fun that way because it's a cute dad joke, and if it's boobs, I'll show the Three Stooges. 3 boobs, because if you don't know, boobs are actually an idiot. So there are other ways. So I really wanted to play with that. So what we're going to do today is I'm just going to read you the title, and you're going to pick between the two of you what, based just on a title of the Kickstarter, you would want to know more about. And that'll instantly go into us looking at it, showing the creators that a title really matters. Because, and we talked about this, images sometimes don't show up on Facebook with your campaign. They disappear. It happens on Twitter. You have to start looking at this as an all-sum game. Every aspect of it can get someone to back your campaign. If someone's on a fence, a good pitch will save you. And sometimes there are images that we saw recently with one of the campaigns. The image they have to represent the Kickstarter, it looks horrible, but the covers are amazing. The art is beautiful. It's just the way they made that graphic look clunky. And Trish has talked about that. Sometimes that'll throw you. But if you have a good pitch or a good title, that'll draw you in. So with that in mind, you guys ready to choose who goes to the next round based on title alone? You ready, Trish?
Yeah.
Now listen to the whole list and just hold on to the one you like the most.
Okay.
All right, so here we go. Kojak, the Night Stalker, 50th anniversary graphic novel. Critter action figure, based on the Big Dog Inc. comic. Hades, Rise of the Dark God. Book of Lalaxia, 40 pages. Sun Blossom, Volume 1 and 2. And no, Trish, you can't pick that one. Brink and Fitch, Want to Have Fun, which is a good title. Demon Samurai, number 1. Welcome back to Kid Chaos. Cat Dad 2, A Hero's Journey in a Child's Imagination. Aliens West. Primal, The Jungle Warrior, number 7. Crimea, Islands of Dreams, and I think I'm saying the main name wrong. Masovla, I think is what it is. Thunder, 3. Shimmering Basin, number 2. Chuck, you can't pick that one. Legacy of the View, number 4. And Boots. Echoes of Triumph. And that's it. The reason both of you couldn't cancel. Because you both know why you can't pick either one of those. Because just based on title, they can't go to the round on that.
I don't know why I couldn't pick Shimmering Basin. Not that I was going to necessarily.
That's your friend that you suggested to me. I know.
Everyone's my friend.
No, but
I know a lot of those books.
That's true. I figured you kind of helped him in a mentoring role. Am I wrong?
No.
Oh, then you can pick that one. I thought you've actually mentored him a little bit. Because I think that would.
No, he did that one. That's all on him. Yeah, he did great.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't even seen it.
You can pick that one.
But that wasn't going to be my pick. Trish, go ahead.
I personally, I don't know any of the titles that say part 2, part 3, part whatever. So I'm not going to pick those because I didn't pick up the first one. So I'm going to knock those right off the bat. You know what I mean? So that's a ding already on a lot of books. If it's, you know what I mean? Another volume. And I haven't even caught up with 1 or 2 because like we've only been part of Kickstarter for like 3 years. So, I mean, that's the bad thing. And then so like my other one would be like the demon errors or whatever. What it was.
Demon Samurai.
Yeah, sure.
Right.
We'll pick that one.
Chuck.
Well, for the 1 and 2 and 3 thing, I disagree. Because for the most part on those campaigns, you can pick up the earlier editions. So that's a great chance to get a bunch of books all in one shot. That's just me though. The one though that jumped out at me was Crimea.
Yeah, I know the one you're talking about. I'm getting him right now. As we're talking, I'm calling him up.
But you know, because that also means extra money too, Chuck. And right
Well,
now, you know, when you're
get it, but you can't knock someone down for having more than one issue. Like,
but does that sound appealing? If you are only limited to so many, why watch something that's
Trish, you're talking to comic book fans who jump into Batman at issue 558.
Yeah.
I don't think you know. Like, we're getting into X-Men 172. There's a lot before we got there.
Yeah.
Oh, look, there I am.
But
For some reason,
in all fairness, that's what you said. What would and
no,
you got to do it. I just said I disagree. I didn't say you were wrong.
Yeah.
I didn't say Trish Bankston is completely wrong. I didn't say her opinion is incorrect.
Completely wrong.
Trish is crazy.
Wrong. Wrong.
Oh, I've said that.
wrong, Trish. All right.
Yeah, that's the one yeah. Oh, it's Chimera.
Chimera, okay.
Chimera Island of Dreams. Yes, that is the one that I heard. Oh, wow, okay.
And then we're going to go here to the Samurai. Okay, so Samurai's got 7 days. So this was actually the image we were talking about. Now we're going to look at the whole campaign as a whole. So it's Demon Samurai, a story that spans from the past to the future. I thought that right there was good wordplay. But the image, the last couple of people who've seen the image have liked, they instantly picked the Demon Samurai. And there's no video here, so we're going to actually look into the art a little deeper. But would you guys experience backer pause based on anything that you're seeing right now on the screen?
I would say for that image, it's way too much writing.
Right.
I'd also say the funded. I know the funded bothers some people. Because why would you be crowdfunding if you're funded? And it will turn off a couple backers. There are people who are like, okay, I'll go help someone else. Not meanly, because we do overpay for the issues. Let's be honest. You're not giving table pricing on a Kickstarter.
Yeah. Well, and so the funded doesn't bother me as much as the things that actually bother me the most. First off, you have this beautiful image where the funded is, and it is almost the smallest part of the whole image.
Look at that image.
And then see, and you're going to turn that into
that should be all up in that first panel.
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
What I mean?
And
show your art. Be happy.
I don't need to see the stretch goals in there either. Stretch goals will help to push me forward if I'm thinking about buying it, but I'm not even there yet. I could barely see art. So yeah, I would actually say that banner's a problem for me. I'm not
remember, that's a representation of your project on Kickstarter, on Facebook. You are representing your brand by that. So, and again, stretch goals, they don't need my help. You're already giving a pause moment, and that's what this show's about. Mm-hmm. Someone who might have been thinking like, I want to help someone today. Oh, they don't need help. They've got what they need. Let me go to the next project. Because I do know people who actively go, I've got some extra money this month. I'm going to go help a creator. And I've had a few people reach out to me and go, hey, and they back me now all the time. And this is why I always have the argument with fellow creators. I would rather be backed by fans than a creator. Because I don't want a creator backing me because they think they have to. I don't want them trading services with me. You know what I mean, Chuck?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want that. Like, I actually removed a lot of creators from my actual email lists because I don't want them doing it. I'll ask my fellow creators to share for me. That I will ask. Because I think that's okay. We all help each other. That's perfectly fine. And Trisha knows that I made that comment recently. If I ever made a person feel they had to back me based on our friendship, I openly apologize. It was never about friendship. I will help people who I don't even like necessarily, just because that is what advocating is. You don't have to like someone to advocate for them. But I would rather people back my stuff that like my stuff. So I know a real audience with it. I know who my people are, and I can build something genuine. I don't try to guilt people into backing me, and that's just a choice. Everyone can do what they do.
There's been a lot of people who have said the same $20 filters through Kickstarter comics. And I have to say that's such a crap statement. I hate that statement. I like sharing and jumping on people's campaigns and whatnot. And I'm a fan too. I didn't get into comics just because I'm a narcissist and I wanted to show off my own stuff. That's part of it. But the other part is that I love comics and I love to check out other people's stories. So that money is in there for a reason. But no one is going to be funded by that singular $20 that's just going around and around. The fact that we have that people get as many backers as they get and all that kind of stuff is because they work that much harder to get all those people. So I hate that mentality of, creators are just kind of, taking care of one another and funding each other. And I'm like, that's not it at all. Well, because if you looked at people's backer lists, you would see a list of people who are not creators.
Well, I think it's because there are certain people who are doing that, but those are obviously not the people making thousands of dollars.
Well, and but even if they are,
you'll know right away when I say there's certain people who lean heavily and start going, well, if you're not going to back me, I'm not going to back you. I can name 5 creators just off the top of my head who have said that stuff loud.
I can, and I can name that too, absolutely. But those people are not being funded by those 5 creators. You know what I mean? Like that. That's right. Not doing what they think it's doing.
No, it's ostracizing them. And I saw one of them fail at a project right after they had said some really dumb stuff, and it came down to a wire of getting funded because people have long memories about certain things, and you have to be very careful. I know one creator who really hurt himself by turning around, and you'll know who I'm talking about when he said, "I'm not going to do the stretch goals because someone's backing, someone didn't pay their charge card thing, so now I'm not sending out stretch goals."
Yeah.
To their credit, they did send out the stretch goals, but that was because they got just brutalized on social media over it.
Oh yeah, of course.
But you guys know Mike does most of the physical backing. Me, if I like the project, I will always throw $1 at it. You know what I mean? And that's me because
Well, you
I
guys
like
are
the
different.
project or I like the whatever's
You've proven
going
you
on.
were fans before you showed up. Before you made a comic, you guys were like the cheerleaders of the independent sphere. Like, you guys were out there. You were on everyone's program. You've always been cool and chill. So, like, for you guys, it's always genuine. No one doubts that. But this came about, like Chuck is saying, there's no one really out there getting funded by just creators. But there are people who expect other creators, who literally back someone expecting them to back. And I don't expect that. And I don't want that, because I think it's a false audience if people start doing that. And because then if you're going to expect me to do it to your project, and I've told people flat out, no, I'm not backing your campaign. And they're like, well, I backed yours. And I'm like, I appreciate that. And I hope you backed it for the right reasons. I
had a creator who's actually on Kickstarter right now. I backed them for $1. And they came to me and they said, I would really love it if you backed me for the digital. And I said, okay, well, no. And they were like, what? And I was like, I would really like it if you had gotten me excited to want to do that. Asking me just, can you buy my digital and read it? You're asking me to give you extra money and to do the work of reading a book that you have not excited me in. I already paid $1, and I know $1 is not a lot of money, but I paid $1 to advertise to all the people who follow me on Kickstarter, which is hundreds of people, that, hey, Chuck supports this book. So the fact that I paid $100 to tell hundreds of people about your book, that's not enough for you, and you need me to pay more and read it? Nah, man, don't do that stuff. That's not okay.
Yeah,
if someone does it,
Yeah. I'll throw anyone
Can you get a
$1.
digital copy of ours? No, I'm just kidding.
I have a digital copy of yours.
No, I'm kidding.
But for me, I'll throw anyone $1 who I think is a positive person, even if I don't like it. Because a lot of times I have friends who do horror stuff, and I'm like, dude, I'll never read it. I just don't. Horror doesn't do it for me. Give me something else.
They didn't get my $1 this time.
Fair enough. So, all right. This is what is it?
Chimera.
Chimera.
See, I'm from the Ukraine, so that looks like Crimea. It's Crimea to me, which is a real place
a
around
D&D creature.
Oh,
that's where I know it from.
Cool. Like, I learned something all the time.
It's actually it's a Greek. It's Greek mythology.
Oh, see,
yeah, the Chimera is the I believe it's the goat, the lion, and one other thing all into one creature.
It's like
goat, lion, eagle, or something like that.
Oh, I know the one. I think I know what you're talking about. It was in one of those movies with like the dudes without the shirts and the togas.
Yeah. One of those.
But he was good looking. He worked out. All right. So
good for him.
Here we go. Remember the rules of back or pause. Raise your hand if you find a reason to pause. We'll be back out in a few seconds and talk about the video, unless you guys see a reason, and then we'll come right out and talk about it. I'm looking for it right now. There it is. And away we go.
Hi, I'm Izzy. Welcome to my island. Chimera is a place where anything is possible. You could be like half bird and half human. You can also make up people from your own mind, just by thinking about them. There are 4 people who came to my play. There was Ashante. She was the really smart one, but super stiff. Then there's her brother, Freddy, who's a lot more fun, but is totally obsessed with Captain Galaxy. Harry is the track star, and is super athletic, and Colin is adventurous, but kind of arrogant, yeah? I'm calling out to the extreme team. This is Freddy, Captain Galaxy's biggest fan. We've been stuck trapped on an island named Chimera, and I'm guessing Izzy has mind-altering starfish sucking our brains out, like in my favorite issue of Captain Galaxy. All I know is that we're trapped here and we need your help. The only way to get back home is to beat Izzy in 4 different challenges. In this part of the story, I get to be Captain Galaxy, and it's amazing! Ashante, Colin, Harriet, and I become the Extreme Team, and we have to fight Izzy and her team of baddies. Harriet has to run a race as a Jaguar, and we have to help her cross through some pretty tough obstacles as well. Hi everyone, it's Izzy again. I just want to say thank you to everyone that helped me keep Ashante, Harriet, Colin, and Freddie on the island forever. It's not over yet, Izzy. Freddie, you're not supposed to be here. I turned everyone to robots and gave you a logic problem. No way, Ashante's way too smart for you. You can turn us into anything you want and we'll still win. Well, you don't know what I have in store for Colin. Colin's our friend. He would never do anything to hurt us. We'll see. You're just gonna have to pledge the Kickstarter to find out. We'll see you and Shamira.
Thoughts, concerns? No one hit pause.
I didn't hit pause.
I was
What?
this close. 'Cause there's no emotion with it. I'm a robot and I'm reading a script and I have no cares to what I'm saying, but I at least have a voiceover, but I don't really have any emotion to it. And I'm sorry if I'm
remember,
like, I got to this island and you can't believe the powers I got. And I would be like,
but Trish, not everyone can do that. We don't know the circumstance. I'm just saying
She,
that.
yeah, she does. She does sound young. The voice did sound
creator
young.
could have autism, and I'd rather us not go down that road because we don't really know.
Okay, fair enough. I just wish there was more
energy. More energy is the way to say it.
Yeah, but energy and also some pauses. I felt like everything kind of ran in, like all the sentences and stuff ran into each other, and I had a hard time kind of just appreciating what was happening there because we were already on to the next thing. And I understand you only have so much time, but
there's 15 seconds in the beginning where it's just the name before it gets into there. I almost raised my hand because of the long start into it, where it was the name. It was a black screen, and it was like 15 seconds.
Also, I feel like we got the whole story.
Yeah, it did kind of give a lot of the outline. That was more of an outline than a pitch. And Chuck wanted vocal commas, and Trish wanted more energy, and those are fair comments. They are a project we love, but they need some more love. So consider giving it $1. It's got good art. You know what I mean? Like, I like the art. It's got fun energy. It's a kid's book, so this is good to probably give to a kid, I would assume, and allow them to read it. So give it a check out. See if it's for you. Got some interesting covers, some Goonies love, and screen and Monster Squad love. So check it out. All right, we're down to 10 minutes because 2 guests is a little harder always. So we're gonna go a little quicker now. You guys can together pick one. So let's see if we can pick one based on just the pitch. Well, both of you come up with an idea and then talk about it and pick the one that will win. You ready? So we're just doing the pitch now, not even the title. I'm only going to give you the second line with the pitch. You ready for it?
Yep.
Comic book anthology with stories by Steve Niles, Gabriel Hardman, Rodney Barons, Kim Newman, Nancy Collins, David Alvaron, plus more. Then we have Critter comes to life in this full pulsable action figure on the Big Dog Inc. comic book series. Before Kronos, before Demonos, there was Hades. There are shocking times that kicked the events of Book of Lalaxia into motion. A GL Monster Girl series. Story of 2 girls making their way in a chaotic world. They're having fun, enjoying life, and making up supernatural horror. That is friggin' fetch. So, just so everyone knows, we already played that. A story that spans from future to the past. We talked about that with the Samurai one already. Kid Chaos Super Earth Comics. It was Kid Chaos too, by the way. I know Trisha's going to hate that. Team Cat Dad is back, and this time they will tackle what it means to be a hero as we introduce Admiral Hero and discover his important origin. Discover West. Comic book. I'm not kidding. That was really the pitch.
Wow.
Yeah. And we got another one. Welcome to the wonderful world of Maslow, the first issue of a 25-page comic for ages 7 and up, so just the first one there. And then the third comic book issue of the Canadian superhero Thunder. Shimmering Basin Tune returns The reader of Shimane and her gang of young adventurers and take on new threats and new allies. Legacy of the View issue 4 with the spin-off series Boots, chapters 1 through 4, a manga that bends Shinobi, Vadu, and Mechas. The much anticipated Echoes of Triumph 2 is finally here. So what did you each want to hear based on pitch?
There was not a lot of good pitches there,
No,
were
there wasn't. There
That
wasn't.
was-
That's why I'm kind of like, you take your pick, Chuck, because like I
there?
just
That was
find
rough.
anything that screamed out. I wanna listen. I wanna.
You know what? Actually, I would have to say, probably the best one there. I would say was Book of Leaxia.
See, I personally think, just me, I think the Team Cat Dad number 2 was the best. I might be
Well,
biased.
Sorry, I specifically didn't pick, but that was the thing. That and Brink and Fetch actually had really good pitches,
Which
but
is
we
why I
already
read
watched
them.
them.
I did read them purposely, knowing that there was not a great amount of pitches coming
Dude,
up.
the pitches were rough, guys.
Right?
A comic book. A comic book.
Yeah.
Discover West? What does that mean?
Yeah. Yeah. And even saying this is your pitch moment, saying that you're the second book of it, or you're the most anticipated thing. So if you say that and I feel left out, now I don't want to be part of it.
The comic anthology one, we both were like, no,
No.
just move on.
Nope. I don't need to know who's all working.
Yeah,
on
right?
Do you guys, so we could do this. Do you guys both feel like none of them lived up to it enough that you just want to move on to the whole package and look at the whole thing together? and see the
I
image?
feel that way because I mean I can't pick my own because I was excited by mine. I'm like, okay, it's horror, it's fun, and I want to jump on horror and fun.
And also, because we're running late on time, let's do that. Let's just move it over and go to finally revealing the entire campaigns, and we'll go from there. Sound good, guys? So here we go. You've heard everything about everything, so we're just revealing it now with the image. This is Kolchak. If you're a Kolchak fan, that's really all you need. So I kind of get why their pitch was about the creators behind it. Critter is in its last 2 days, I believe, at this point, and that's the action figure right there. This is Hades, Rise of the Dark God, Book of Alaxia, Story 2. Now, this is the only one that you thought had a decent pitch.
Yeah.
So you're automatically going to watch this now because that did go.
Look, here, go up for a second. No, sorry, just down. Book of Leaxia. So I can read it real good. Look at go down just a little bit more so I can read it right here. Before Kronos, before Demos, there was Hades. These are shocking times that kicked events of Book of Leaxia into motion. Bam! That is a really good pitch.
The only downside to it, Chuck, what if I don't know what Book of Alaxia is?
It's true, but when we're talking like it's a series, I don't know, man. It at least gives you something. There was nothing else anywhere else.
I'm with you. The only thing I would have said is that this kicks off giant events in a comic book franchise, something like that opens the door a little bigger.
Yeah.
Try not to close doors by making it exclusive.
Yeah.
Someone's not going
Right.
to, on Kickstarter, you're not going to know everyone who it's going to be at. And if you can get traction in a project you love, you get in a different spot, people are seeing it, you can leverage that. You know what I'm saying? But we'll definitely watch this video. And that's the one with no nipples, by the way. Trish.
And you know I'm going to raise my hand, so I will leave this all to Chuck.
With the video? Yeah, I don't think that's going to be much of a problem. Trish, you get to pick based on the look of it because you skipped that round. And then, by the way...
No, we can watch the Laxia one.
Oh, no, I'm picking the last two. This is just so I can get the second one to end the show. Remember, you're just looking at the images. So what's the image that draws you in the most? We saw that one, by the way.
Yeah, that's why I'm trying to pick something we haven't. I don't think Thunder has a video with it.
No, it does not. Or I would have the video underneath. So if I don't have a video under, copyright, or we don't have a video. We haven't seen Legacy of the View.
Okay, we can see that one. I haven't seen that one. I mean, it looks kind of superhero-y.
Okay, sure. Let's do that, and we play the Hades one. I just know Trish. And and
that's why this Hades one, Chuck, I leave to you to raise your hand because it has my no thing. So I'm being fair.
Okay, so here it is. This is Hades.
Truth. It can only be quantified by those who speak it. Those that hide from the truth are not worthy of existence and shall be purged as the vermin they are. For what they did, I will take everything from them.
Chuck?
What?
It looks like you're raising your hand.
No. Oh, sorry. No.
No, that was the video. Chuck, that was literally the video. I didn't stop it. I was literally asking for feedback. That's the video.
Oh, are you kidding me?
No.
Oh, that was. Oh.
No, I didn't think he was raising his hands either because I've seen him raise his hand. He's probably
No.
typing or holding.
No, you didn't. No. What I was trying to do was I was trying to turn down the volume because I was having a hard time even making out what he was saying because the music and the voices were blending in so much. I have. The art was nice. Next.
Yeah. Okay, we're gonna do Legacy of the View.
Okay. Now, do you want to know Rob's problem with that? Is the dude has no nipples.
No nipples. It distracted me so much. You have no idea.
I couldn't even get there, dude. I could barely hear the voices. There was.
No, I saw a missing nipple. That was done. All right. So Trish, this is a friend of mine. So
Okay.
be nice. You can pause when you want to. I know you're gonna want to pause quickly.
Hey, it's me, Specs Thompson, back again with another Kickstarter for Legacy of the View. This is the 4th issue and final issue of the story arc, but this time I brought a little.
Guess what? You can finish playing it, but I don't want to hear about it.
I mean, the rules are the rules of the show. He's a friend. He doesn't show art. He's a great creator. He's got great art.
Is it just him talking the whole time?
Yes, the whole time. And I know Chuck would have hit it in a few more seconds because it's not showing the art. But here's the amazing art of the project. And yes, he should make a video with art in it. I will reach out and let him know. But this is an amazingly beautiful project. We had actually a spinoff, sort of, the After School Job in Continuum Comics. He's a great, look at that art. So I am going to encourage him to put the art in the video. That's why I said be nice, Trish, because he's a good creator. He really is, and he's got great energy. If you do watch the video, he does say some amazing stuff. I suggest people go back and play the video on top of the Kickstarter while you scroll it. That's what I ask. Play the video and scroll and look at the art. All right? I'm going to show the second Cat Dad video because Chuck, I don't think he's seen this, which is surprising. Usually I send it to it. But I don't even think... Trish, you did see it last week on the show, the new one, right? With all the image on the side? Okay.
Yes.
So here you go, Chuck. Check it out. So that's my son, Jackson. He's an amazing kid, but he has autism. Early on, when the symptoms started to show themselves, one of the things I noticed about him, and this moment captured it perfectly and inspired me to write comic books about him and really want to write children's books, was the imagination that he had. This inspired everything behind Cat Dad and Supermom. All the stories I've written, all the stories I'm going to write, it all comes back to this moment when he was playing at a convention and he was just having fun and he'd really tapped into it. He was very much in the moment. With autism, sometimes it's hard to bring a child out of that shell. And so I created a comic book hoping to reach him, because at this point he would just rip up comic books, and I wanted him to really experience the written word and all that it could bring. So I created a comic book about him and I showed him the process, and sure enough, when that first comic book was printed, it changed him. It changed how he looked at books, and I'm always going to think that was a turning moment. Him coming out of his shell and him really enjoying not only the written word, but exploring his imagination. I want to thank you for taking the time to watch this video and encourage you to go to Cat Dad and Supermom and check out this campaign. So which video wins, Chuck? First or second?
What was the first one? Oh, Legacy of the View?
No, the first Cat Dad one or that one?
Oh, okay. Actually, I kind of like the first one. The second one, I actually found I did enjoy it an awful lot, and I really love that little story and everything. But I found the image in the middle, it kind of like blinked off and on, and it had this sort of like green screen effect that didn't seem to be working as well for me. So it just, to me, it was like distracting visually.
see, like, and for me, the second one, I just,
Trish, I got to cut you off. Sorry, we're out of
oh,
time.
that's fine.
Thank everyone for being it. We'll continue the conversation in just a second. Go back and campaign, back or pause.